Hello teacher, hello classmates. My name is Roberto Ortiz and today I'm going to be talking about the topic descriptive and comparison contrast essays. Now, we need to know what a descriptive essay is. A descriptive essay is an essay that describes something, an object or person, an event or place, an experience or emotion, or an idea. The goal of this kind of essay is to provide readers with enough detailed descriptions for them to be able to picture or imagine the chosen topic. Now, like this definition says, in a descriptive essay, we need to be able to, as a writer, describe what we are trying to write about. For example, if I'm trying to describe a place, I would need to describe it with lots of details. For example, the place, the climate, how everything is. So, descriptive essay is really necessary and really important. An important thing for descriptive essay is the usage of sensory details, sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste, to outline an impression in writing. These sensory details are very necessary and very important. We need to be able to have all those sensory details: sound, touch, smell, sight, taste. For example, if I'm describing something like a food, I would need to describe how it tastes like in order for the reader to be intrigued by my writing. Now, here are the parts of a descriptive essay. The introduction. We all know what the introduction is. It's the part that introduces your essay. It's the first impression of your work, so it should be attractive. It should make the reader want to read more. It should make the reader want to feel intrigued about your writing. So you don't want the reader to be bored, but you want the reader to be really interested. Now, the body is the main part that constitutes your essay. It gives information. It supports your essay. Now, there are many parts of the body. For example, in the second body paragraph, like for example, there are three parts of the body. For example, in the first part, we usually talk about the locations and parts of a place when we're talking about describing an essay or a descriptive essay. In the second part, we are usually talking about the activities that happen in that place. And in the third part, body part, we are talking about the sensory details. Like I said before, sight, sound, taste, smell, and others. Now in the conclusion, it's the last part of the descriptive essay. It's the conclusion. A conclusion is your last chance as a writer to impress the reader of your work. So it's the last chance for you to really impress the person who is reading and really feel like the reader spent a splendid time reading your essay. Now, here are some of the transition words that are used in describing an essay or in a descriptive essay. For example, to give an example, like I said, for example, for instance, thus, in other words, etc. To emphasize, above all, after all, certainly, indeed, so on and so forth. To show relationships, although, as a result, at the same time, because, but, and to show time, afterward, at last, before, during. These transition words make the descriptive essay a lot easier and a lot more understandable. Now here is an example of a descriptive essay. Now this descriptive essay tells us how it is being outside, the surroundings of the writer. For example, the writer in the first paragraph usually talks about how his porch is very beautiful and how outside is full of trees and the leaves are falling down and winter is nearby. So this is a perfect example of a descriptive essay. Moving on, a comparison contrast essay. Now, a comparison and contrast essay examines two or more topics. whether it be objects, people, or ideas. Comparing their similarities and contrasting their differences. You may choose to focus exclusively on comparing, exclusively on contrasting, or on both. Or your instructor may direct you to do one or both. Now, the compare and contrast essay starts with a thesis that clearly states the two subjects are to be compared, contrast, or both, and the reason for doing so. The thesis could lean more toward comparing, contrasting, or both. Remember, the point of comparing and contrasting is to provide useful knowledge to the reader. Take the following thesis as an example that lean more towards contrasting. Now, like the words say, compare and contrast. Now, you might be comparing two objects, or you might be contrasting two objects, or you might be doing both. But the importance is to do one or both of these two things. Now, if we are writing this and we forget to do it, then it won't be a comparison and contrast essay. It will be filled with mistakes and errors that we commit. So it's important to include one or both. Now, signal words used in comparison and contrast. Now, these expressions are traditional words signal contrast. On the contrary, on the other hand, however, otherwise, whereas, still, and yet. And these expressions signal comparison, as well as both, like, in common with, likewise, and also. Now, here is an example of a comparison and contrast essay. Now, basically, we're comparing two cities, two very well-known cities, which are located in two different places. For example, in Washington, D.C., which is located in the United States of America, and London, which is located in England. These two are the capital cities of the English-speaking countries. And yet they show a variety of differences. For example, on the currency, one has dollars, one has euros, and how they live, their lifestyle, their different kinds of accents, their different kinds of arts, museums, etc. So this is a perfect example of a comparison and contrast essay. Here's my bibliography that I used. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.